Dimension Drifter is another game that is going the route of trying to combine the kinetic action of a third-person shooter with the procedural generation and replayability of a roguelike. Now, while this game is still in early access, it has some good foundations to it, but I think it's still running into some of the classic problems of a procedurally generated action-based game. So, the story is that it is some point in the future and the world is overrun with demons. And you play as this lovely lady here who has the power to drift through various dimensions or areas in an attempt to save the world, which of course involves killing lots and lots and lots and lots of guys. So, the game itself involves these procedurally generated levels, with them being filled with various enemies, treasure chests, items, you name it. The basic mission at the moment is just get through the level, kill the enemies, reach the exit point. You start out with 3 basic abilities. You have your handgun, your shotgun, and you have this kind of rift slowdown power that you just saw there. And the slowdown power is dictated by the bar at the bottom of the screen. The gameplay itself right now is on the basic side. Your guns have an alternative fire, your pistols have like a bounty shot, your shotgun has a grenade effect, and you can also throw a bomb, which I may or may not kill myself in this footage that I recorded. But as you go through the game, a major part of Dimension Drifter is obviously the procedural generation, or kind of the persistent layer that occurs outside of the game. Before and after each mission, you'll be taken to this screen, which I'm sure will be adjusted as the game continues through early access, where you'll be able to decide what weapons, what gear, and what other passive abilities you want to equip onto your character. And the game hints at allowing you to have different characters, different builds, stuff like that, but those elements are not in this version. Your weapons themselves right now become unlocked as you complete missions and kind of expand the game's campaign progress. But you can attach various graphical effects, change the color of your weapons, things like that at the moment. As you play through the game, you'll find various mods and gear that you can equip onto your character, as you can see right here. But those are found through the campaign or by completing missions. The missions themselves are usually rated on how hard they are, what you'll earn in terms of campaign progress, things like that. And the game did unlock a few new enemy types as I played further. Now, as you can see so far from this play, the game is definitely focused on complete arcade action. You're not going to be worrying about properly adjusting for range, jumping, things along those lines. But as you've probably have watched so far in this, I guess we're a little bit over 3 minutes into this video, there are some issues with the general gameplay that I think may come back to bite this game if it gets developed further in terms of adding more underlying systems, or more overlying systems to its foundation. And let's talk about that next. And now a quick shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/GWBycer. With Dimensional Drifter, like we said at the start, the game is trying to combine both action-based gameplay with the procedural design. And unfortunately, some considerations had to have been made to accommodate that. First, the general gameplay has that kind of stiffness to it. As you see, my character kind of moves around like almost like skating around the ground throughout most of the play. The gunplay itself is also on the basic side. I couldn't tell if we were actually getting bonuses for like headshots and things like that, but this is definitely a case of you going for quantity as opposed to quality in terms of these enemies. As you can see, I'm kind of given free rein to just move around and just take them out at my leisure. One thing that I found that was kind of annoying is that the game has a tendency to warp out enemies in areas that you've already cleared without any real warning about it other than you spotting it. And there are several cases where I was killed because an off-screen enemy got a lucky shot in. Now, the level designs themselves are also very basic, as you've seen so far over this video. There are no puzzles, platforming sections, or even really any environmental obstacles as of this moment. I'm hoping that the developer will add more of that stuff to kind of differentiate the various levels going forward, or maybe that stuff is in and it's just at a later part. When it comes to the actual customization options, like we've seen so far, it is very bare bones. I unlocked a new weapon, but I didn't really see all that much of a difference. And a game like this, I think, needs a lot more in terms of the customization aspects. A lot of weapons, more armor, anything to mix up or change the basic gunplay and gameplay will help. Because again, the player is really just doing the same exact thing again and again as of this moment. And I don't think the basic gameplay right now is deep enough to keep someone engaged over the long run. That's why a lot of games with the procedural generation will try to make things very different on each play to compensate for that. But for right now, we're not seeing that. But again, with that said, please keep in mind, this is, I believe, either on early access, or this may actually be before early access in terms of the build I was given. So I'm sure things will change over the course of its development. But with all that said, let's wrap things up for right now. I'm kind of glad that bomb went off and I didn't kill myself there. So when it comes to Dimension Drifter, like I said, there's definitely a spark here in terms of combining third-person shooting with the procedural generation. But I think something needs to be added to make this game worthwhile. Either adding more complexities to the gameplay, or adding more depth to the customization and procedural generation. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and I would like to thank the developer for giving me a press key to check this one out. I'll include a link to the Steam store page down below if you want to check it out that way. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you're working on a game that you would like me to take a look at in the future, please don't hesitate to get in touch and check back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Once again, this has been Dimension Drifter, and until next time, have a good night. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.